As the summer months wane, students are again feeling that dreaded feeling of returning to school. But what if I told you that for thousands of kids across the country, a return to school and a return to normalcy would be their greatest wish? Anne Baum, the president of Lehigh Valley Reilly Children's Hospital, is teaming up with country music artist Kendal Conrad to provide some of that normalcy to these kids and their families who are on a cancer journey. They join us tonight to talk about what they're up to, why they're doing it, and how we can all help. That's all coming up right here, right now. I'm Sam Chen, and this is Face the Issues. Good evening and welcome to Face the Issues. I'm Sam Chen. Words that no parent should ever have to hear. Your kid has cancer. But it's a reality for thousands of children across the country and right here in this region of the Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania. So how do we help these kids with cancer as they go on their journey? Obviously, most of us can't help them medically, but is there another way the community can come together? I'm joined tonight by Anne Baum, who serves as the president of Lehigh Valley Reilly Children's Hospital. Anne, welcome to Face the Issues. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It is such a pleasure to have you here. You currently serve as the president of Lehigh Valley Reilly Children's Hospital. Prior to that, you were the president of the Lehigh Valley Market for Capital Blue Cross. You've been in the healthcare industry for a while. I want to start with this question. We're going to get to this event here, but you're co-chairing an event for the Pediatric Cancer Foundation of the Lehigh Valley, or PCFLV. You're the president of a children's hospital. Why children for you? Why this focus on kids? What does that mean for you?
Well, our children are our future. If we don't care for our children, give them the best launch pad that we possibly can from their health, their well-being, their education, then our future is really doomed. So from my perspective, kids are our most important asset here in the Valley and around the world. We need to invest in them, care for them, and teach them how to be the best, most healthy people they can be.
Yeah. The children's hospitals are not something that is new in this country. Children's Hospital of Philadelphia in our region, consistently ranked one of the top children's hospitals in the country, but it is new to the Lehigh Valley. Reilly Children's is opened within the last several years. Why, or I say, what is the difference, medically speaking, when we talk about kids? Why dedicate a hospital to kids? Before, kids could still get treatment at the Lehigh Valley Hospital. They're still getting care. Why separate it out?
Well, there are a number of things that are really important as to why we separate it out. Some of it is the expertise of the physicians. So making sure that you have physicians that are very specifically trained in caring for kids. Kids are not little adults. Kids are kids. They're different, and you need to care for them differently. We also have built a facility that's kid-sized. It's family-oriented, and we have very important child life programs ingrained in our system so that we're caring for the whole family, helping them learn how to speak to their children, educate their children on how to get better, and really have this different but successful experience.
And one of the things you just brought up about the family, I think that's something that gets lost a lot. And when we talk about, and we'll get to this, when we talk about pediatric cancer, it's not one kid going through it. It is a family journey. We talk about parents and just the challenge of having a kid who's battling cancer, but also their siblings are journeying through this as well.
Right, it rocks everybody's world. So you're correct, it's not just the child who's ill, it's the whole family, it's their extended family, because everyone is drawn into it to care for and support that child in getting to wellness. It changes everybody's lives, and that's why PCFLV is so important here in the Valley.
I want to ask you about that. PCFLV, we said earlier, is the Pediatric Cancer Foundation of the Lehigh Valley. What purpose are they serving? What's their goal?
Well, they are all local, focused on supporting families. So they hear that diagnosis, and as you described, that's earth-shattering to any family. PCFLV is that support system, that group, that support group, that resource group to help through the whole process, from diagnosis through all of the stages that an individual will go through.
So they're not a medical group or clinic. This is not where you go for treatment.
Correct.
This is a group that's coming alongside the family, the patient, in emotional support, physical support, financial support, and really taking care of the pieces outside of the medical treatment.
That's right. And there are so many parents that are part of this group that help support others through the journey. So it's all about helping that child, of course, but also the families make it through.
In some ways, I think what you're describing to me sounds like a community. And cancer has unfortunately played a massive role in my family's life. And the community really, and even when you lose somebody, the community is what really makes a difference in that journey.
Right, and that's what PCFLV does. They have resources and support through every phase, from diagnosis to care and even bereavement, because all of these pieces are important to the family as they're going through it, and you need support. You can't do it alone.
Yeah, and that's so true. I think a lot of times when we hear about someone's cancer diagnosis, right, in those first few weeks, it's very overwhelming. Every friend calls, family calls, and then it's slowly people get on with their lives, and it's not that they're intending to, but kind of out of sight, out of mind. You're saying this group is there with you every step of the way, whether it's a success story or you lose someone, they're there with that family every step of the way.
Yep, that's exactly right.
That's remarkable. I want to go through some statistics here. Nationally, this year, the estimate is that adolescents under the age of 15, over 10,000 kids will be diagnosed, and over 1,000 of them will die from cancer. Teenagers 15 to 19, or 5,000 to 6,000 will be diagnosed this year nationally. About 10% of them will actually succumb to the illness. Now, these numbers are incredibly improved in the last several years. We're looking at a 5-year survival rate of 85%. Just 50 years ago, that was 58%. So the numbers have gotten a lot better. From where you are in your role with the Reilly Children's Hospital, how widespread of a problem is pediatric cancer in our community?
Well, we'll have 40 to 50 children diagnosed with cancer here in the Valley every year. Okay. And as you said, the survival rate is somewhere in the neighborhood of 85, 80%. Yeah. So the good news is you have a lot of children that are making it through. It is the number one cause of death for children. And primarily we see leukemia as the most common diagnosis, and brain tumors as the second most common.
Wow. Is there a reason that those two are more prevalent?
Gosh, I don't know the answer to that. That just happens to be the statistics that we have.
And to your point, I mean, that's a high success rate, and of course we want to get that to 100% or as close to 100% as we can. Let me ask you this. I mean, whether it's cancer or another condition that kids will face, I know the Children's Hospital doesn't just treat cancer patients. You have all sorts of children coming in with different conditions. What's the biggest challenge when it comes to kids, as opposed to if you or I were being treated at the hospital?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is communicating with the kid. So if you look at our neonatal intensive care units, these are all tiny babies, many of them days or weeks old. They can't talk. Yeah. You have to be able to interpret what they're going through, read their symptoms. And the same holds true as you work with kids going forward. They don't have the communication skills. And our team, that's one of the reasons why pediatric specialists are so important, because they've learned how to read what a child really means if they don't have the words to tell us.
That's true. It's something I certainly didn't think of. It's something that once you say it, it's kind of like a no duh. Like, of course, that's right. When we talk to kids, when we see kids at our church or at the park, we always talk to them differently. Of course, that would apply to medicine. But again, as somebody who's not in the practice of medicine, doesn't work with kids regularly, it's something that almost is out of sight, out of mind to a lot of us. And we miss this need for kids. Let me ask you this about the families too. You said earlier that this is a journey for the whole family. What kind of challenges does the family have as their kid gets sick? And is it different than, say, if it's an adult that gets sick or it's a parent or a grandparent that gets sick? Does that challenge look different for the family?
Well, again, back to kids are young. They're not independent. They rely upon their family to get anywhere. They can't drive a car.
That's true.
They can't prepare food for themselves. And often when you have a cancer diagnosis in a family, that means that maybe one of the caregivers has to leave their work or get a new schedule at work or rely upon other family members, or in the case of PCFLV, the services that they provide to help them care for that child and help them get to their appointments, get their treatments, understand their treatments, so that that child has the best chance of survival.
Sure. Again, something you don't think about if you haven't gone through it, that you may need to leave your job, you may need another source of income, you need financial aid. Also, if you have more kids than the one, you can't exactly just leave kids out to fend for themselves, right?
Exactly.
I mean, so the parenting must get a lot harder.
Yes, and that's one of the great things that PCFLV does, is provide that parental experience from those who have already gone through a similar process to help a family understand tricks and resources and recipes for success to help them make it through, because that's the key. Is this, you get this diagnosis, it's a shocker, it rocks your world, and now what? You have to figure out a plan. You have to figure out how to support that child and the rest of your family. PCFLV helps with that.
That's incredible, and I love the partnership that you guys at Reilly Children's have with the PCFLV. That's a tongue twister. I love that partnership in the sense of one side's really focused on the medical, the other side comes along and helps the family through that journey. It's a team effort. And I thank you for explaining that to us. I thank you for the work that you're doing every day at Reilly Children's. Thank
you.
When we come back, we're going to bring your co-chair, Kendal Conrad, on as well. We're going to talk about the event that you've got coming up and how other people can get involved. So just stay right there. We'll be right back.
Great.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Face the Issues is produced and recorded in the studios of Lighthouse TV. Positively different.
Welcome back to Face the Issues, and now we're joined not just by Anne Baum, but by singer-songwriter Kendal Conrad, who's also co-chairing this year's event. Kendal, welcome back to Face the Issues. Let's start with just what event is it that you're co-chairing?
So it is the PCFLV, which is the long acronym. You keep saying it very nicely.
A long acronym for a longer name.
Yes, I'm like trying to channel your smoothness with saying this name. But it's a 8K run and a 5K walk, and it's at the Ironton Rail Trail, September 10th. And we're raising money for the organization. It's all going towards the kids and their families, and I'm super stoked to be part of it.
That's really neat. Now this is a run, it's called the Ready, Set, Gold Run and Walk. Not just run for the gold, but gold is the color for pediatric cancer awareness. This is the 13th year they're doing it, I understand. This is the first time they've actually asked people to co-chair it, though. What are your goals? Like, what do you hope to do as co-chairs with this event?
Well, one of our first goals is to raise awareness around the event and PCFLV. So we, with Kendal's help, we've been being very active on social media so we can draw attention and get people to participate. And then the financial goal for the event is to raise $75,000 that goes right back here in our community to the families.
So everything that's raised is staying in the community.
Yes.
It is going to serve the children you talked about who are battling cancer right here in the Lehigh Valley.
That's right.
And that's the great thing I think about local charities. Not that giving to great organizations like the American Heart Association, American Cancer Society, and so forth are not wonderful, but these local events and organizations serve the people in our community. We talk about taking a village, and this is really being a part of that village.
Right.
So let me ask you about, again, first year there's co-chairs, and let me start with you on this one. Why this event? Why get involved? Obviously, there's a connection for you as the president of Reilly Children's Hospital, but there's a lot on your plate. Why choose to get involved with this event?
Well, when you meet the families and the patients, you realize that they're real. They're not just a statistic. They're not just a number. And to your earlier point, people immediately, when the first news comes, are there. But these are long journeys for families. And knowing that PCFLV is there and such a great partner of our children's hospital, when they invited us, we couldn't say no.
Yeah, that's incredible. Kendal, you're not affiliated with Reilly Children's Hospital.
I am not.
You've made your career as a successful singer and songwriter. You've performed on this show. Why get involved? Why this issue and why this event?
For me, it's mainly, it is local. It's our neighbors, it's our friends, it's people that we know, and I feel like as a musician and an artist, it's about connection. You're connecting with people who you see at the grocery store. It's people who come to my gigs. Like, I know them, and so it's homegrown, and you can, like Anne was saying, it's an emotional, personal thing. It's people that live here with me in my community. It's like it's helping yourself. Why wouldn't you help out? So
I want to ask you this, Kendal. You obviously in your role, you have a large following on social media, and you mentioned earlier using that social media platform to support this event, to get the word out.
Instead of just posting about clothes and
well, and that's what I want to ask. I mean, everyone on social media has got their niche, right? Everybody posts about, you know, the outfit of the day or giveaways or foodie things. You have a foodie Instagram page yourself.
I do.
Is this different for you as you go through, whether it's with partnerships that you have or different things that you support? Is it different supporting a charity like the Pediatric Cancer Foundation?
Different in the way that I post, or
different in for you
just
personally? Yeah.
I mean, well, I go back to that connection thing. When brands and things reach out to me, do I necessarily have a connection with a clothing company that's based in San Diego? No, I don't. I don't have a connection with that. It's a job. Sometimes it's a job. I get paid in product, I get paid to post. But this is something that I'm doing to give back to people who are struggling, who are in pain, who want something lighthearted. When we posted our skits and our little video things that are fun, it's I don't know. I really enjoy it. It's more of an enjoyment thing versus this is a great compensated campaign that I probably should do it and I try to pick products and things that I do genuinely like. Right. But it is a job.
Sure.
And they want the stats and they want to see the content before I post. So it is a job, it's work, and this is more. It's just giving back and being emotionally involved in what you're doing. Yeah,
there's a big difference there.
Yeah,
absolutely. We talked about the financial goals. You said $75,000 raised. How hard of a challenge do you think that's going to be?
Well, I think that we're going to blow it out of the water.
I like that.
People we are so surprised at the number of people that have reached out and said they want to join our team or asking for details on the event. So I think this is going to be the best year yet.
And that's my next question, which is how do people get involved? Obviously, they can run, but
and I'll be running.
I'm going to ask that in a moment. That's incredible. So they're going to be able to run, but how else are there sponsorships available? I mean, how else can people get involved and contribute, be a part of the event, contribute financially to this cause, even if they can't run in it?
Yes, so there are sponsorship opportunities, there are raffle prize donation opportunities, there are food donation opportunities. You can run, you can walk, you can do the kids' fun walk. So, and something for everybody, and every little bit helps.
Are you going to come, Sam?
Well, are you going to? So you said you're going to run. Are you doing the fun walk, or are you doing the 5K or the 8K?
I'm going to give you one answer to that question, and it's going to do the walk.
Okay. Well, and the funny thing is I know both of you were at the Senior U.S. Open when they were here, and I saw you showing off your golf skills. And so my next question is, and Anne, for you, we know she's participating. Are we going to see you show this a stride or two during this race?
Yes, but not running.
Okay.
We will both be doing the walk, but we encourage people that have the skill set of running to do so.
We should do the kids' fun run.
We could probably run a mile, I think.
I like how she says probably, and then I think.
It's like a kid's fun run, and I think an obstacle course.
Oh, we could do that.
We could do that. I
Yeah.
think you have to be under a certain age, but maybe we could do that.
I think they would let us.
They would let us do
So
that.
it's like an American Ninja Warrior component
Yes.
to,
Oh, yeah.
to
Yes.
this event. So
Yeah.
the event and the event sounds like a lot of fun. And one of the things I want to ask, the funds stay in the Valley. And you hinted at this earlier. What do those funds go toward? You look at the services they provide, and on their website, they talk about things like house cleaning, gas and grocery cards, gift cards for the hospital cafeteria, family assistance funds, caregiver coffees, birthday cards for siblings. Again, siblings are often forgotten in this process. How else do those funds get used?
Well, that's the primary use of the funding, is to give back to the families in these little ways that make a huge difference in their life, and it takes things off their plate that they'd otherwise have to worry about. And that's the beauty of it, that there are all these little gifts that add up to big support.
Yeah. One of the things I think we can, I think one of the things that happens a lot for us is we don't gravitate towards things that we have not had direct experience with. So and you mentioned earlier, a lot of the people that are part of this are people who've gone through this journey. And so you think about the challenges that you have in your house, the challenges you have in your family, whether it's wrangling your kids, getting them the practices on time, and making sure their grades are up, and all of these things. And then imagine adding a cancer diagnosis to that, and suddenly what happens. And I think that gives a bit of a feeling of that chaos.
Right. And that's the beauty of PCFLV, that they've been there. They understand it. And so when that happens, they can be that safety net, that support group, that community to support them.
Absolutely. Let me ask you, where should people go if they want to participate in this run or they want to do a sponsorship? How can they do that? Where should they go for that?
The PCFLV.org website, the link should be on there. It should be on their socials, their Facebook, their Instagram. And if you really cannot find the link to sign up, you can DM me, direct message me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever you're on, and I will send you the link if you have any problems.
And that'll be at Kendal Conrad.
At
Just
Kendal
send
Conrad.
you a DM.
Just shoot me a DM, 1L.
And we hope lots of people will sign up for it, because it'll be a really fun day.
And I'm trying to get some mascots, if anybody has any mascot information for me, some characters.
Okay.
This is supposedly for the kids. It's mostly because I want a picture with a mascot. So.
Fair enough, fair enough. Last question, the goal here is to raise $75,000. How many people would you like to see show up?
Oh, thousands, as many as possible. That's the nice thing about doing it in the park. We can have as many people as want to come. So the whole Lehigh Valley should come out.
So come run. If you don't run, come cheer on those who are running. It's all going for a great cause.
And there's a virtual option too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
So you can, it's $35 and you can run or walk virtually and be a part of it and be supportive and be there with us.
So there's really no excuse here, because you can do it virtually, you can do it in person, you can cheer on people, you could be a sponsor, and it's all going for a great cause right here in Lehigh Valley.
Community event.
I love it.
We'd love to see everyone there.
Love it. Anne, Kendal, thank you for doing this. Thank you for joining us to talk about this, and we'll see you on September 10th.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Hope so.
Well, I want to thank Anne Baum and Kendal Conrad for joining me tonight, for talking about this incredible work and also this event coming up. Again, you can register just right on their website, PCFLV.org. When we come back, Kendal Conrad will grace us with her vocals and her guitar, so don't go away. We'll be right back.